I do not wait. I embody abundance. These are not simply words. They are codes of creation, sacred tones whispered through the soul and spoken into the atmosphere with power. What I speak today is not a guess, not a wish, not a plea from desperation. No, what I speak is law, divine law, the spiritual order that governs all things, seen and unseen. In this universe, words are not noise. Words are commandments, and the word, once spoken in faith, must be fulfilled. Every word I release is a seed, planted in the fertile soil of the unseen. And just as surely as an acorn becomes an oak, every word spoken in truth manifests in its time. But more than a seed, my word is also a contract. It binds heaven and earth in agreement. It activates invisible forces. It instructs angels. It calls forth provision. It shapes reality to match the voice that dared to declare it. This is not superstition. This is not fantasy. This is law, a spiritual science exact in its operation. As surely as gravity pulls downward, the law of mind responds to my word, with mathematical accuracy, no hesitation, no confusion, only execution. It does not respond to begging. It does not respond to worry. It responds only to clarity and faith. So today, I shift. I no longer speak as a victim of chance. I speak as an oracle of certainty. I do not ask the world to be kind to me. I command my reality with words aligned to the highest truth. I no longer speak as one who waits. I speak as one who already has. As Florence Scovel Shinn once wrote, "Your word is your wand, and I wield it with grace. I point it toward my future. I declare the path. I prepare the space. And so, creation begins. My word is not wishful thinking. It is the blueprint. It is the foundation stone for the house of my abundance. So I say again, I do not wait. I do not wander in uncertainty. I do not beg for what is already mine. I embody abundance. I walk in divine provision. I speak, and it is done, because my word is law, and law never returns void. There comes a moment in every spiritual journey when you must decide, will I continue to ask for what has already been given, or will I rise, stand tall in the unseen, and speak as one who knows? I no longer beg. I no longer plead with the heavens as if I am unworthy, for I am not a stranger to divine supply. I am an heir. I am a vessel. I am a channel through which divine abundance expresses itself. When I beg, I diminish my own inheritance. When I command, I honor the truth of who I really am. To beg is to believe that I am separate from the good I seek. To beg is to assume the universe has not yet decided in my favor. But the truth is, the decision was made before I even asked. The moment the desire was planted in my heart, the supply was already formed in the invisible. I do not need to convince God to bless me. God already has. My only job now is to claim it boldly. Florence Scovel Shinn wrote, "You must act as if you had already received, not wishfully, not fearfully, but with unwavering faith. So I no longer say, "Please, may I have enough?" I say, "I am richly supplied now, and forever." I no longer hope to be chosen. I speak as one who has already been anointed. To command is not to control. To command is to align. It is to speak in resonance with divine law. To echo what is already true in spirit. My command does not create the blessing. It releases it. I do not command with ego. I command with reverence, not from a place of force, but from a place of clarity and conviction. Because the universe is not emotional, it is lawful. It responds not to how much I feel, but to how deeply I believe. And belief is expressed in the tone of my voice, in the stillness of my spirit, in the authority with which I speak. When I say, "It is done," I leave no room for delay. When I say, "This is mine," I step into the vibration where it must come to me. There is a magnetic field around certainty. It draws the formless into form. It calls forward the unseen and says, "Now is your time." When I command, I stand still and know. I become a lighthouse of divine will, and all that belongs to me finds its way home. Begging chases. Commanding attracts. Begging says, "I need." Commanding says, "I already am." I remember now who I am. Not a spiritual orphan, but a co-creator with the infinite. My words carry authority because my spirit is aligned. I do not knock on closed doors. I declare them open. I do not ask permission to receive. I affirm the law that says, "It is the Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom." So I no longer beg. I command, not from pride, but from divine remembrance. I command clarity. I command abundance. I command healing. I command open paths. And by law, what I command in truth must appear, because I now speak from fullness, not from fear. I no longer ask. I receive. I no longer wait. I become. And so it is. For so many years, money was something I feared, something I chased, something I spoke about in whispers, with guilt or tension in my voice. I thought I had to earn its love. I thought I had to suffer for its presence. I believed that money was for the lucky, the connected, the special, and I was not one of them. But today, that story ends. Because now I know, money is not a stranger. Money is a friend. Florence Scovel Shinn wrote, "Money is God in action." And that means money is not separate from the divine. It is not dirty. It is not dangerous. It is not something to feel ashamed of desiring. Money is energy. Money is expression. Money is divine substance made visible, moved by faith, shaped by words, and multiplied by consciousness. So if money is God in action, then how I treat it reflects how I understand God's nature. Generous or withholding, flowing or conditional, welcome or feared. I used to treat money like a stranger at the door. I wanted it, but I didn't trust it. I asked for it, but I feared it wouldn't stay. I desired it, but I secretly felt unworthy of holding it. And so, It did what strangers do. It passed through. It stayed briefly, uncomfortably, and then left because I never invited it to truly belong. But now, I open the door. Now, I say, come in. You are safe here. You are seen here. You are respected here. I do not fear money anymore. I no longer speak of it with anxiety in my tone. I do not call it hard to get, or the root of evil, or the reason for all problems. I call money what it truly is, a sacred servant, a loyal companion, a resource for divine expression, just like air, just like light. Money is here to support life, and just like breath, when I hold it with fear, I block the flow. But when I release, when I relax, when I trust it returns in greater measure. Money has no ears, but it listens. It has no eyes, but it sees clearly. It senses energy. It feels vibration. If I treat it like a burden, it behaves like one. If I treat it like a friend, it arrives joyfully and stays longer. So now, I align with the vibration of openness, trust, and overflow. I speak words that honor the wealth already around me. I notice every form of abundance. A warm bed, a fresh meal, an unexpected smile, a paid bill, a tiny blessing. Because money doesn't just come in currency. It comes in comfort. It comes in timing. It comes in answered prayers. I no longer chase money. Chasing creates separation. It affirms that what I desire is far away. But I have learned, what I embody, I attract. What I welcome, I multiply. What I bless, blesses me in return. So instead of hustling in fear, I move in alignment. I become the space where wealth feels at home. And in that peace, the overflow begins. I am not afraid of having more, because with more, I can do more, give more, heal more, build more. I no longer say, I just need enough to get by. I say, let there be more than enough, not just for me, but for the lives I will bless through my stewardship. Every dollar that passes through my hands is now treated with purpose. I send it out with joy, and I welcome it back with peace. I no longer act like a servant to money. I partner with it. I lead it with intention, and it responds in kind. So now, I speak to money like this. You are not a stranger. You are not an intruder. You are not a rare guest that shows up only when I'm desperate. You are my friend, my companion, a gift from the divine, a mirror of my inner worth, a tool in the hands of one who remembers who they are. And because I treat you with love, reverence, and alignment, you multiply, you flow, you return home, again and again and again. So it is. There is a truth I used to overlook, one that cannot be taught by logic or spreadsheets, one that cannot be measured by effort alone. And that truth is this: my frequency creates my future, not my hustle, not my strategy, not my to-do list. My vibration, me, emotional, spiritual, energetic tone, is what draws things into my life or keeps them far from me. And the lever that shifts this frequency is called faith. Florence Scovel Shinn said, "Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen." She did not say faith is fantasy. She did not say faith is passive. She said faith is substance, as real, as tangible, as alive as any brick or stone. It may be invisible to the eye, but it is visible to the law of the universe. And when I hold that faith, pure, unshaken, uncluttered by doubt, I begin to shift everything, not just my mindset, but my magnetism. Faith isn't just a thought I repeat. It's a feeling that radiates through my nervous system. It's a calm certainty in my breath. It's the way my chest softens when I say, "It's already mine." It's the way I relax my jaw when I stop forcing life to happen. It's the way I walk with quiet confidence, even when there's no external evidence yet. Because I no longer live by evidence. I live by frequency. I used to delay miracles by asking, "When will it come? Why hasn't it happened yet? Am I doing enough?" These questions were not innocent curiosity. They were coated in doubt. But now I know. Doubt dilutes my signal. Fear fogs my channel. Unworthiness whispers in the language of delay. So I shift. I no longer look for reasons to believe. I simply believe and the reasons arrive. Faith is not about forcing something into being. It's about aligning with what is already here in the unseen. I don't need to make the blessing appear. I need to become the person who can hold it. The love, the wealth, the peace I desire, they're not far from me. They are vibrating at a level I now choose to rise to. I shift my frequency. I step into resonance, and life bends to meet me there. This is not a one-time decision. It's a daily spiritual practice. It's a breath-by-breath choice. Every time fear whispers, I answer with faith. Every time the old identity says, "You don't deserve this," I reply, "I was born worthy." And when my body wants to panic, I pause and I say, "I choose peace. I choose alignment. I choose to believe what is true, not what is loud." I am learning not to obsess over my external results. They are not the cause, they are the mirror. If I don't like what I see, I don't push the mirror. I shift the source. I shift me, because the world responds not to what I pretend to be, but to what I actually radiate. And when I radiate certainty, when I embody peace, when I walk as one who already holds the promise, life must reflect that back to me. So I no longer say, "I hope to be wealthy." I say, "I am the frequency of abundance." I don't say, "Maybe love will find me." I say, "I am the frequency of sacred connection." I don't wait for success to change how I feel. I change how I feel, and success finds me ready. I speak it. I feel it. I anchor it, and I become it. From this moment on, I don't beg the universe. I align with it. I don't perform for approval. I rest in identity. I don't doubt the timing. I trust the unfolding. I am not chasing anymore. I'm vibrating at the frequency of already having. I am no longer waiting to feel chosen. I have chosen myself. And as I choose faith over fear, presence over panic, alignment over striving. I rise. I receive. I reflect the truth that abundance is not coming, it's already here. So it is. There comes a time when waiting becomes remembering. Remembering that I was never without power, that I was never without tools, that I was never without access to divine law. I am not here to wish for abundance. I am here to create in alignment with it. And I do so using the three sacred tools given to me not by the world, but by Spirit itself. The Word, my divine command. The seed, my vibrational offering. The contract, my energetic covenant with the universe. These are not ideas. They are instruments. And when I use them with intention, life changes. Not someday, but now. Florence Scovel Shinn wrote, "Your word is your wand." And now, I understand why. Words are not ornaments. They are orders. Every time I speak, I initiate a vibration. I issue a decree. I place a request into the field. The universe doesn't respond to how hard I try. It responds to how clearly I speak. Words are not just for communication. They are for creation. When I say, I am broken, I am not stating a fact. I am making a declaration. But when I say, I am whole, I am abundance, I am the vessel of divine wealth, I activate something ancient, sacred, and lawful. My words are not isolated sounds. They form the architecture of my energetic field. Every sentence I speak weaves reality. Every phrase I choose becomes part of my spiritual atmosphere. That's why I now speak from consciousness, not from habit, from alignment, not emotion. The word is my tool, my wand, my key. I use it with reverence. If my word is the wand, then the seed is the energy I planted in. Words spoken without vibration are like seeds thrown on stone. They carry no life if not paired with faith. Every word becomes a seed, and every seed needs soil. That soil is my emotional state, my inner frequency, my felt sense of truth. If I say, I am abundant, but feel fear in my belly, my soil is resistant. But when I say, I am abundant, and breathe as if it's already here, now the seed takes root. I have learned to tend my inner garden. I clear out the weeds of doubt. I protect the seed from the storms of overthinking. I water it with joy, expectancy, and peace. Because faith is not just believing once. Faith is maintaining the vibration of the thing long before it appears. It's feeling rich when the bank account is still quiet. It's feeling chosen when no one's calling. It's feeling expansion before the door opens. This is spiritual maturity. This is vibrational gardening. And just like the farmer does not panic, when he sees no sprouts on day 3, I do not uproot my prayers with doubt. I let the seed grow. I give it time. I give it space. I give it trust. Because I know, if I've planted the right word, and I've held the right energy, the harvest is inevitable. Delay is not denial. Silence is not absence. What is mine is growing in perfect timing. The third tool, the contract. This is the sacred agreement I enter when I speak and believe with alignment. It's not written with pen. It's not signed in ink. It's written in frequency. It's signed with certainty. The moment I speak a word from truth and feel it is already done, I enter contract with the divine, and the law begins to fulfill it. The universe is not personal, it is precise. It does not say, maybe. It says, yes, to whatever I consistently affirm. If I speak truth, but contradict it with fear, I void the agreement. But when I hold steady, when I keep my vibration aligned, when I do not cancel the prayer with my panic, the agreement is fulfilled. Not by force, not by striving, but by law. I no longer ask, when will it come? I ask, how can I hold my side of the contract today? That's the only question that matters. I keep the agreement alive by speaking with clarity, feeling with faith, living with expectancy, acting as if it's already here. Because spiritual law is not emotional. It's activated by alignment. Let's be honest. What breaks a spiritual contract? Doubt that lingers. Words spoken in fear. Emotional inconsistency. Acting out of scarcity after praying for overflow. Needing proof before holding belief. But I don't do that anymore. I'm wiser now. I'm more grounded. I'm more committed. I know that every time I re-enter faith, I reactivate the contract. Grace is built into this process. So even when I wobble, I can return, realign, redeclare, resign. These three tools are not standalone. They are a sacred sequence. The word, the spoken declaration, the seed, the vibrational anchor, the contract, the energetic agreement. Used together, they allow me to live not in reaction, but in creation. They allow me to build from the unseen. They allow me to attract without force. They allow me to embody the miracle before it arrives. I am not a beggar. I am a builder. And these are my sacred tools. Now, let us speak what we know to be true. My words create my world. I speak only what I want to experience. My words are seeds. I water them with peace. My vibration is the contract. My belief is the signature. The universe fulfills every order spoken in faith. I do not chase, I attract. I do not guess, I declare. I do not wait, I align. And now, I walk forward not as one hoping, but as one already holding the evidence. Because my tools are active. My faith is alive. My contract is signed. So it is. So it has always been. So it shall always be. Repetition is not redundancy. Repetition is remembrance. Repetition is re-entry into the vibration of truth. Every time I repeat a declaration, I am not saying it again because it wasn't heard. I'm saying it again because I'm choosing to believe it deeper. Each repetition is not a plea. It is a hammer striking the same spot until the spiritual veil thins and the door opens. Repetition is not begging. It is alignment maintenance. Repetition is not convincing God. It is recalibrating me. Because I forget. Because the noise of the world interrupts. Because fear comes dressed as logic. Because lack comes disguised as realism. But when I repeat a spiritual truth, I push back against the lie. I hold the vibration longer. I build spiritual muscle. Florence Scovel Shinn called this persistence in the word. Here's the truth. I am always in a contract, whether conscious or not. If I repeat lack, I renew a contract with limitation. If I repeat, it's too late, I sign again with delay. If I repeat, nothing ever works, I bind myself to that frequency. But now I know better. So now I choose differently. Now, every repetition becomes a ritual of entering new spiritual agreements with love, with wealth, with wholeness, with divine favor. With each spoken affirmation, I don't just declare, I transform. The first time I say, I am abundant, it feels like imagination. But the 10th time, the 20th, the 50th, now it starts to feel like memory, like truth, like home. That is the power of repetition. It rewires the nervous system. It overrides subconscious resistance. It upgrades the script I live by. Spiritual law is not activated by passion alone. It is activated by consistency. Every repetition is an act of faith. Every reaffirmation is a brick in the new structure of my belief. And the moment I speak it long enough, true enough, clear enough, my inner world catches up. And when my inner world shifts, the outer world must respond. Because as within, so without. I no longer repeat worry. I no longer repeat panic. I no longer repeat limitation. I only repeat what I wish to remember and reproduce. So I repeat peace. I repeat abundance. I repeat divine identity. I repeat sacred truth. Not out of fear, but out of sovereignty. Not to chase, but to claim. Each time I repeat a truth, I am signing the spiritual contract again. Not because the divine forgot, but because I want to keep my vibration in the agreement. And spiritual contracts are not like earthly ones. They're alive. They breathe. They respond to presence. The more I repeat with feeling, the more the law of attraction, the law of resonance, the law of expectancy begin to converge around my words. It is not just what I repeat, but how I feel when I say it. I don't chant blindly. I don't mumble truth without heart. I speak with embodied knowing. When I say, I am richly supplied, I mean it in my belly. I feel it in my bones. My voice matches my vibration. My declaration matches my atmosphere. And that's when the contract is sealed. Let's be clear. Repetition is not superstition. It's not magical thinking. It's not about chanting your way out of pain. It's about training your nervous system to believe what is already spiritually true. It's about reclaiming your authority over your mind. It's about keeping your words in agreement with your highest identity. Because there is no force more powerful than a human being who repeats divine truth until they believe it fully. The mind learns by repetition, but so does the soul. Every time I say, I am worthy, I am chosen, I am in perfect timing, I am a channel of wealth, something shifts, not because I made it happen, but because I made myself available to the truth. I used to think others were more blessed, more lucky, more special, but now I know they were simply more practiced in what they repeated. They practiced wealth. They practiced openness. They practiced receiving. They practiced speaking their vision louder than their fear. And now so do I. I don't repeat truth to force it. I repeat it to remain aligned with it. The contract is already written, but I choose to keep showing up in agreement. So when fear creeps in, I return to the word. When doubt arises, I return to the seed. When timing tempts me to panic, I return to the contract. And every time I do, I return to myself. Here is my sacred formula. Speak the word. Anchor the vibration. Repeat until it becomes identity. Act in alignment with what I've spoken. This is not motivation. This is spiritual discipline. This is not hustle. This is alignment maintenance. This is not performance. This is embodiment. So now, I repeat the truths that reshape me. I am abundance in motion. I am no longer waiting. I am walking in overflow. I am loved, chosen, and supported by divine intelligence. I am wealthy in soul, wealthy in spirit, and wealthy in form. I am a safe place for miracles to land. I do not need to prove. I only need to align. I speak. I feel. I receive. I repeat not to chase, but to confirm. I am the evidence of what I've spoken consistently. Every time I repeat a truth, the contract strengthens, the vibration sharpens, the vision clarifies, the gap closes. I do not need to see it to believe it. I believe it, and then I see it. So I repeat, not because I doubt, but because I am devoted. So it is. So it has always been. So it shall always be. This is the moment I seal it, not just with words, but with full spiritual agreement. I do not hope. I do not wish. I do not plead. I do not wait. I now declare, with absolute certainty, thy lot is already mine. Not tomorrow. Not once I deserve it more. Not once I fix everything. But now. Because I have spoken. Because I have aligned. Because I have believed. Faith has done its work. Not because I forced it, but because I trusted it. The invisible has heard me. The soil has received the seed. The contract has been signed with vibration and belief. What I desire is already seeking me. What I've declared is already finding form. What I've aligned with is already unfolding. And because I walk in faith, I no longer wonder if it's coming. I begin preparing to receive. I make room. I stretch my arms. I enlarge my vision. I live as one who already holds what others still chase. I am not performing. I am partnering with spiritual law. I understand how this universe is wired. And now I work with it, not against it. Florence Scovel Shinn said, "The game of life is a game of boomerangs. Our thoughts, deeds, and words return to us, sooner or later, with astounding accuracy. So I do not wonder. I expect. I do not wish. I affirm. Because the law is faithful. The law is consistent. The law is blind to status, timing, or worthiness. It moves when vibration moves. It obeys the voice of conviction. And I have spoken with clarity. I have stood in belief. I have repeated truth until it saturated my being. Therefore, it is already mine. I do not chase what's already aligned with me. I become the place where it lands. I am a magnet. I am a match. I am the mirror of the miracle. Every desire has been heard and held. Every affirmation has been planted and watered. Every contract has been sealed in vibration. I no longer prove. I no longer pursue. I simply become. I used to ask, when will the evidence show up? But now I understand. Evidence follows identity. Proof follows embodiment. Form follows frequency. So I don't wait for the world to show me who I am. I show the world by walking it out. My life is the testimony. My presence is the evidence. My peace is the proof. People will ask, how did it happen for you? And I will smile and say, I aligned. I declared. I received. I repeated until I became. Because I didn't chase the thing, I became the version of me who could no longer live without it. I no longer say, I'll be grateful once it's here. No, I thank in advance, because that is the language of the spiritually fluent. I give thanks now, because gratitude is not an afterthought. It is the atmosphere of receivership. I say, thank you for the abundance already flowing. Thank you for the doors already opening. Thank you for the solutions already on their way. Thank you for the miracle already forming. Thank you for the yes that has already been spoken in the realm I cannot yet see. And I do not rush the process. I trust the divine schedule. I know that what is mine cannot miss me, and what is not mine cannot stay. So I release control. I release how. I release when. I release needing to know every step, because I'm not just in manifestation. I'm in covenant, and the contract is clear. What I speak in faith shall appear in form. So from this moment on, I make decisions as one who already knows. I love as one who is already safe. I spend as one who is already supplied. I move as one who is already backed by divine provision. I serve as one who is already overflowing. I give as one who is already full. I no longer posture. I possess. I no longer hope quietly. I walk boldly, because it is already mine. Let this truth be known. I do not need the world to approve what the Spirit has already affirmed. I am not waiting for signs. I am the sign. I am not waiting for confirmation. I am the confirmation. I am not asking if it's possible. I am the proof that it is. Everywhere I go, my life will say without words. The word was spoken. The seed was planted. The contract was sealed. And now, the harvest has arrived. Let us seal this with full body conviction. I live in the fulfillment of what I once hoped for. I no longer ask, I receive. I no longer wish, I embody. I no longer wait, I walk in it. I am the landing place for divine wealth. I am the echo of heaven's yes. I am the receiver of sacred timing. I am the physical manifestation of spoken truth. I am not becoming. I am here. This is the law. What is spoken in faith, and held in vibration, and walked in alignment, must be fulfilled. This is not emotional witchcraft. This is spiritual law. This is frequency science. This is divine partnership. And so I say it clearly, fully, and finally. It is already mine. So it is. So it has always been. So it shall always be. Wishing you a day filled with good energy and luck. If this video brought you value or inspiration, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to tap the notification bell so you won't miss any of the upcoming content. Every view, like, and comment from you means the world to me. It fuels my passion to keep creating meaningful videos and sending blessings your way. Thank you from the bottom of my heart.